we've got stories to tell, how the human race should be erased from space. We're horrible people and deserve to die. If you don't believe me, then I'll tell you why. We've caused genocides and mass extinction, humans causing bad pollution. Amazon is burning down, California's on shaky ground. Ted Cruz in Cancun, people deny the moon. Gun crime is on the rise, hypocrisy and evil lies. Leadership is on vacation, God is doing tax evasion. Police increasing jurisdiction, overdue for extinction.
Hello and welcome to Overdue for Extinction, a comedy podcast where we not only tell you our own dumb life stories, but scour the interwebs to find only the finest of humanity. I am your co-host, Justin. Now, before we get to Anthony, I am excited to announce our newest co-host. You know her, you love her, and we officially brought her aboard. Dummies, I present to you Talia. How are you this week? And I'm wondering, does it feel any different knowing that you're a host and not a guest?
Hey guys, I am glad to be here. Doing fantastic. Comes with responsibilities, so it is a little bit different. I had to say that. So.
Yeah, I mean, instead of just showing up and commentating on what we've curated for you, you now have to find some dumb for yourself for the week. So I'm excited to see what you'll bring to the table.
There is an abundance of dumb amongst us, so we shall see.
Excellent, excellent. How about you, Anthony? How are you this week?
Well, for starters, I don't know how I feel about going from the show's creator to third in the show credits now. I feel like a little bit of a downgrade has occurred, and I appreciate it. I mean, what are we now? Are we JAT? Are we or Taj? Like, we can't. I think AGT is already covered, right? That's the band. Like, what are we? We're gonna have to change one of your names to something that's gonna make this fit a little bit better because the letters aren't wordling correctly. I'm okay for the most part. We just recently got back from Florida. I was telling you before recording about all of the fun that was. I won't go into detail now because I find that the vacation stories are a lot like photographs. Unless you're part of it or people are naked, nobody else really cares about it. So it is what it is.
I mean, you're not wrong. A picture's worth 1,000 words. A naked picture's worth probably a few minutes of my time and a little left life force when I'm done.
Jail time. Straight to jail.
I mean, depending on who's in the photo, yeah, there could be jail time involved.
Well, and the time frame too, I think, varies from person to person as well. You may choose to really get a real butterface just to challenge yourself.
I mean, why not? I mean, you gotta keep it fresh.
Unlike the stiff sock at the end of the bed.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, Ty. I don't know what you have in comparison to stiff socks, but
We use silk sheets around here.
Silk sheets? What is the difference between silk sheets and the cotton socks?
Silk and cotton are two different materials. Let's start there.
Wow. Okay, all right. I'm not that dumb, but okay. So, what is the result of the love fluids on silk? Because we're not fancy here. We just kind of, wherever it goes.
What all it comes down to is that it's all washable. If it can go in the washer, it's it. That's all you need. That's all you need to know.
That's fair. Anyway,
I just realized this episode's gonna be very uncomfortable for Karen.
That's all right. It might be uncomfortable for our listeners. Get over it. So I do have my own dumb story from this week. It happened today, actually, the day we're recording. So at work, it's titled Jetta Down. So there's two of us Justins at work, and by far I've been called JT most of my life. So they call me JT, and somehow that evolved into Taint Toucher calling me Jetta. So one day he just yelled Jetta, and he's just ran with it. So my coworkers had a conversation, as we've discussed here. I fall asleep just about anywhere. What would happen if they walked in the room and I was just laying on the floor? Like, what would they do? I mean, my coworkers are like tiny compared to me, and they're like, could we pick them up? Could we move them around? What we're gonna do? And so They just decided that if they ever come and find me passed out, they're just going to scream, "Jetta down! Jetta down!" So that was a conversation that happened earlier in the day. And we were all working out at one of our parks today, and I was on the mower, and they were doing other things. And I went to get off the mower to grab something off the back of the truck, and the bottom of my pant leg cuff, as happened before, got caught on a bolt on the mower. So as I'm stepping off, my leg is permanently attached to the mower, and I am falling face first towards a metal tailgate, not just like normal tail, but it's like a utility truck, so it has a solid metal tailgate. I barely get my hand up in time to deflect my eye from bashing into the corner, and somehow my other hand pushes off the bumper of the truck, which is also solid metal and sharp, and as I'm flying through the air, now my pants decide to unattach from the mower. So as I'm moving forward, after I avoid all the obstacles, I lurch forward 2 feet through the air and skid through the gravel at the bottom of Tank Toucher's feet as he screams, "Jetta down! Jetta down! Merrick, we have a situation!" And I'm just give me a few seconds to collect my pride. And I stand up and they look at me and he's like, "Are you okay? Serious, are you okay?" And I'm just losing it. I am I can't stop laughing. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck are the chances that I go to step off a mower, which I do, a dozen times a day, every fucking day, all summer long, and somehow my pant leg decides to attach itself to the mower. Yeah, so it could have been a very different story, and I could have, not been here because I probably would have been in the hospital with a bastion skull. But it was just too funny that they decided that they had a plan in place for if I went down for what they would do, and they came up with it this morning. It was a little bit of foreshadowing of what this afternoon was going to entail.
My initial thought wasn't your well-being or how badly that hurt. My thought was, well, it would have been funny if you had been to pants in the fall, because you getting to pants and then landing at Taint Toucher's feet was really the ultimate wet dream for him come true.
You should know that I tried to take a drink while you were making that comment, and I just ended up with Gatorade coming out of my nose.
It would have been the only fluid if Taint Toucher had his way.
Jesus Christ.
He did. Our assistant supervisor, he went to come up from behind to touch his tank today, and he got a finger up his through his pants up his asshole. We're like, dude, you gotta fucking stop. He was just he's just standing there with a complete look of shock on his face, where did my finger just go? And Merrick's just where did your finger just go? He's like, dude, I think you were in my butthole.
Jesus Christ. Now, this is going to be a good time to have Ty around, because I've got a question for her. This is something women tend to do, and I don't understand why. I guess for the sake of annoying. Do you also go around harassing your husband's asshole?
I mean, occasionally, if it's there. I mean,
okay,
why?
Kristen does as well. Just whenever she gets a little opportunity standing behind me, just a little bloop, and tries to get right in the butthole, and it's real not fun. I don't enjoy it remotely.
You wanna know why? Because you guys are constantly spending your time trying to get into ours.
Is that what it is?
That's it.
I mean,
that's a fair explanation.
Look, if I gotta get pegged to do some pegging, I guess I'm willing to do what it takes. I'm so sorry, Karen. But in any case, yeah. So Kristen did that to me one time. I was working second shift, so I was getting off at 11 and going home and not being able to sleep till 3 a.m. And I would, my routine was I would go home and get on Fortnite, play with a friend, and then she would be sleeping. And she wasn't asleep this time that I got home, and she decided she was going to try to go for it. And I was just wearing boxers, so it was already pretty exposed as was. Not like I have a gaping asshole, a hole in the back of my boxers or anything, but she has a pretty good lineup shot. And she did it. She went for it, and it scarred her because I happened to rip ass at the same time that she made contact directly with my pink starfish. And she acted like I was the asshole in the situation, despite being the victim.
Did you say you're pink starfish? No, this is Patrick.
No, this is Patrick. So taint touching, butthole plugging, whatever the situation is. But yeah, you make contact directly with someone's dark void, and I think it changes who you are as a person. He might not touch taints for a while. He may be too scarred from it.
Yeah, hopefully. I'd enjoy not being harassed for a while.
Also, I don't know. Like, I get that the whole taint, the gooch, if you will, is from asshole to like ball back, or wherever women call the cutoff line at. But they're vastly different positions. The butthole, you got kind of a direct from behind, but if you're going for the gooch, you got to go underneath. So I'm not sure how he made that misconnection, that bad choice of navigation. But
I think the other party was like actively like in motion, so like he wasn't expecting him to move, and as he swung, Merrick took a step or something. I watched it happen, and Merrick like
I was
moved.
there. It was life changing.
It was right before the Jetta down situation. So,
like, nobody knows what happened, but I'm pretty sure they're in a relationship now.
Does anyone else have any dumb from the week?
I actually had something happen last night. I was telling you guys briefly, but mostly out of concern for my own well-being. So we have recently started partaking in wheat gummies. We actually found a pen that was legal to obtain without the need of a license, so that was cool. We recently learned about Delta 8. But I get tired of coming home because I work 2 jobs. So I work till midnight on one job, and then I get up at 6 a.m. the other job. And so I decided that I was tired of rolling around in bed, and I needed to have some kind of solution to getting to sleep right away. So I decided I was going to take some wheat gummies when I was getting ready to clock out. So by the time they started to kick in, I'd already be home safe in bed and be able to, just loll off to bed. And that was ruined almost immediately. We have a new dishwasher at work, and he's decided... This guy's, I don't even know how to talk about this guy without running in circles, trying to figure out how to describe him. So he's a bizarre dude. And I found out last night that he sent his partner home early. And we had a graduation. Talmadge graduated, and apparently it's a big thing to go to the restaurant whenever you graduate. So we had a big rush at like 9:30, 10 o'clock of high school kids, or recently graduate high school kids. And he sent his partner home. And so I asked, why would you do that? Because you knew we were busy. You got slammed. Why would you send your partner home early? He doesn't have authority to do that, by the way, so I don't know what happened there. I'm supposed to be the one with authority here once training is over. And he said, well, I called off on Mother's Day. I said, what does that have to do with you sending your partner home to suffer? And he said, well, I felt bad that I left everyone else shorthanded on Sunday for Mother's Day, so I thought the only way to gain the crew's respect was if I also suffered because I made everyone else suffer for calling off. And I said, this isn't a prison gang, buddy. Like, you don't have to earn respect. No one's going to shove a dick in you because you called off one day. Like, what is happening? And so because I am the manager in training now, I can't leave until everybody's job is done and has already left as well. I am the last one to leave. And so I sat there and babysat him. These weed gummies are already in my system. They normally take about an hour before they kick in, so I keep checking my watch. I'm like, okay, we can hurry up. We can get out of here in time. And he gets done like 35 minutes later with all of the work. And I said, good enough. Let's shut down. Let's get out of here. And he goes, do you drive? And I said, yes. And I thought his concern was that he made me late for a bus or whatever. And I said, yeah, I drive. And he's like, would you mind giving me a ride home? I was like, we're already kind of rushing against the clock here. And I said, where do you live? And he told me it was like 5 minutes away. And I was like, yeah, I can take you. So I took him, and he started rambling the whole time, and he was explaining his reasoning for why he sent his partner home. He said that he had to punish himself for calling off Sunday. So not only was the suffering part of his punishment and earning the respect of the other dishwashers, which isn't a hard gang or anything by any means, he sent his partner home, and he had to do it by himself, suffering because he thought he was the only one that was going to suffer. He didn't think I had to stay over too. I was like, I have to stay over. Like, I have to shut everything down. And then he started saying that he was what's that?
I was going to say, I think from here on out, I think you have to get him like one of those little short like tassel whips. And next time he feels like punishing himself, just tell him to do the Catholic thing and like smack it over his back, and
I have to let him. I have to let him tassel whip himself, Justin. He's black. I can't. There's no world in which I do that it comes off as okay.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He has to whip himself. But lighten the situation. Maybe you shouldn't bring him a whip. That maybe
I was gonna say also though. I don't think you can bring a black person a whip, especially as a white person, and say, here, when you need punish, make sure you use this. As you sing the song of your ancestors.
Oh my god. What have I got myself into?
Jesus fucking Christ. Sometimes I wanted the same thing.
Well, I think when Russ and I were doing this, I talked about another girl that I worked with when I first started the restaurant. She was also a black person. And I said something about, you better not piss off the oven guy, who I didn't really think about at the time but was white. I said, because he will whoop your ass. And then she just looked at me with her mouth agape and was like, I can't believe you made that comment knowing the racial diversities here.
I thought you were going to say the oven guy was a Jew, and that was the offensive part.
God, I hope he is. I'm going to have to ask him, because now I need to know how bad it is. But unfortunately for me, and my dumbass being kind, I gave him a ride. He started unloading his entire family life traumas on me about how his cousin just died, and so that was another reason why he had to send the other dishwasher home, because he had to take his frustration out on the dishes, which sounds like a bad place to take your frustrations out of. So I guess the solution to this interaction is I will bring him a whip when I go back to work.
Oh, I guess so.
Thanks for the unlicensed therapy advice.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a bonus segment for y'all.
I did make it home okay, so there was no.
Yeah,
no
I was gonna say.
I walked in the door though, and I looked at Kristen, and I immediately kind of started getting giggly. I was like, I got here just in time.
For sure.
Beat the clock.
Do you have anything to add, Talia, or should we dive on in?
No, I think we can go on in.
All right. So now we're kind of warmed up. We have a listener submitted story that we are going to turn into an icebreaker for you guys.
Oh, Justin.
What now?
How much does a polar bear weigh?
How much does a polar bear weigh?
Enough to break the ice. Ah! Ah! Ah!
I hate it here! So this comes from Dummy Zach, and this actually, like all of my friends' stories, they seem to like to submit stuff that involves me. So you get a look into my life. And the story in itself is pretty simple, but it's going to open up a conversation that I think is pretty fun. So this, I don't even know when this was, late high school or so. Zachary used to live on Worcester Ave in Dover, and one night we decided to take a late night walk. And I mean, like, it was like 1, 2 in the morning. And so we walked all the way down the boulevard down to Taco Bell down by the Union Hospital for a nice tasty snack as we're on our way back. And as we're on our way back, throughout the night, we hear this lady just like getting railed. I mean, she's moaning, she's screaming. It is echoing all over Dover. And of course, you know, in high school at 2 o'clock in the morning with your Taco Bell, that is pretty funny shit. But to me, it opened up the conversation of public places you have fucked and got caught or almost got caught. I'll turn the floor over to you guys and bring in the rear.
Well, that's not probably the best choice of terminology given everything we just talked about for the last 10 minutes, but
that's what I was intended.
So do you know the location of where this action was occurring? Was it like in the alley behind Taco Bell?
From what I can deduce, it was from a house, so they were kind of being safe and boring, but they had the window open. I'm assuming they're thinking at 2 in the morning no one's going to hear them, or maybe they do think someone will hear them, and that is the whole point of it. But it was definitely.
Now I'm disappointed by the story because I assumed this was happening in an alleyway near Taco Bell, and I wanted to make the joke that it sounded like fish taco was on the menu for that day.
Jesus
but
Christ.
You want to talk about your secret menu items that nobody knows about. I don't know which lucky girl you end up with if you order the fish taco. I don't know if it's the one that just happens to be taking the order at the time, because you're going to need to do like a spin around the drive-thru first to make sure you're getting the one you want.
No, I don't know. I think maybe there's just a list of ladies of the night waiting for you, or men of the night, your choice. And you have like the secret code word you have to give Taco Bell. It could be fish taco.
Could be fish taco.
I don't know, but maybe at that point in time, they're maybe the breakfast. They didn't have a breakfast menu then, but you could order the sausage link, whatever you're into.
Yeah, Burger King, have it your way. What's the Eat Fresh one? Subway? I feel like they're all really dirty if you think about it long enough. Taco Bell is just Live Moss, which is just boring.
It is, but I think if you're insinuating that you're ordering off a secret menu for sexual favors, I think Eat Fresh is probably your best bet. It sounds the cleanest.
It's also shit, I've lost track of what I was gonna say. Fuck! I shouldn't have been drinking for this episode. God damn it! What was it now? Taco Bell. Oh, yes, I got it now. Fuck, Jesus Christ. Don't fuck Jesus Christ. It's not gonna.
He's got the sweet handholds in that hole inside of his.
Right.
Ribs.
If you're looking to spice it up and you want away from the typical boring stuff, you can have a go at Jesus' handholds. He died for your sins, so it seems only proper to use them.
Absolutely. He's even got a hole in his feet if you're into that thing. I mean, if you're into feet, that's a whole different kind of foot job.
Do you have anything to add on foot jobs or fucking handholds, Talia?
No, not at all.
I didn't want you to feel left out of the conversation, so I just wanted to make sure you were good.
The whole episode is in the field now, the left field.
So I think it's ironic that Taco Bell's slogan is just Live Moss, because it seems like the more you partake in them, the less you're going to do that. But I guess Live Moss could include not necessarily living longer, but living a more fulfilling life by fulfilling someone else's holes.
Fair.
So anyway, your question before we went down that rabbit hole. Talking about getting into other holes instead.
Yes. Public places.
So I won't throw away my good one right off the bat. We'll get to it, even though I have it listed, so obviously you can see there. My first girlfriend, my first real girlfriend that I was sexually active with, jerked me off at a county fair. Tuscarawas County Fair, actually, I believe. I think we were just kind of like sitting in front of not in front of, but like to the side of a barn next to a trash can, where it was kind of providing cover, and just let her give the old dry rub.
Classy.
What?
That's so classy.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were like 15, I think, 16, so, class had no place in our activities.
I mean, and what a better place than at the Tuscarawas County Fair. I mean, that you get the highest quality people who live in the area.
Realistically, realistically, when you're looking at hand jobs at the county fair, you expect it really just to be siblings.
Right, that too, or nothing but gummers.
Gummers. Suck your dick for an 8-ball.
So cringe.
Well, Ty, since it's so cringy and classless of me to get jerked off behind a dumpster, where was your public sex at?
There wasn't any. I was a good kid. I was a virgin until I was 19. 19 or 20.
So you're
Yeah,
just having sex in the normal places as the Lord intended, outside the view of other people?
No, in other people's homes, and yeah, but I'm not out there doing it. I don't think I've ever done it in public. I messed around in public. I've never really just went at it all the way. In a car, maybe on the side of the road.
Just ringing the devil's doorbell in a parking lot?
Yeah. No,
So
I've never done that.
I don't know what I mean by that specifically. That could be masturbation, or it could be poking buttholes. I'm not really entirely sure.
So
I'm boring.
So you said you were gonna save a story. So does that mean that was your warm up story? So now
that one's fairly mild. So I'll let you give some too. I don't know if we're gonna get anything out of Talia from this one.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I thought we might have 3 different weirdos here, but I guess there's just 2.
I thought you were about to say you thought we were gonna have a 3-way.
I'm definitely a weirdo, but a weirdo behind closed doors. How about that?
That's fair. Well, I guess I used that in the wrong phrase. I thought we might get something out of you. No, so I guess for a warm-up story, we'll go, hello,
I think
D&D
Justin
crew.
just called you a whore.
I think so too.
Did I?
Right.
With the utmost
Respect.
With
for them.
the utmost respect, my lady. It's not offensive if you follow up with my lady.
takes one to know one. Hello, D&D crew. How are you doing out there? Here's a wonderful tale that you'll all be glad to know. One of my exes, I don't know, it was a handful of years ago, we were having like a Halloween, I believe it was a Halloween party, and D&D night, and we ordered pizza from place down, it was like our typical place, it's like a block down the road from me, and we went to pick it up, and in the meantime, we decided that the thing to do when we got back with the pizza was she was going to give me a blowjob in the car right there, and so she's got her dress on, so got her dress hiked up and everything, and one of our buddies was running late, and his kids were in the car, and as they pulled in, the headlights just in the silhouette of, I've been told, in the back of my vehicle is just her head going up and down as my arms reached around, up under the skirts, sort of. And then we just walked in like everything was cool, and yeah, we had anchovies on that pizza because I'm pretty sure I was the first one to tear into it, and I didn't wash my hands. It was just like finger licking good, babe.
Oh no.
I was gonna make a fish joke since you said anchovies, but I didn't realize the anchovies was the fish joke.
The anchovies were the fish joke.
God damn it.
So I guess that's a warm up. That's a warm up one.
Let's see. I've had so the Kmart now it's the Menards in Philly there. Back when it was a Kmart and they shut down and went out of business, people used to go back there all the time for drug deals, I'm pretty sure. I went back there and had sex. Nothing really glorious to report about it. I can't even remember who the fuck it was, so, speaking of whores. And I just remember after we finished, I was like, all right, we should probably get out of here. And we pulled out of behind the building, and we started driving down the road just in time before we saw the cop who was coming to do the inspection routine was going to have caught us. And that wouldn't have been a fun conversation to have with my parents. I'm pretty sure I was underage then.
No, anytime you have to involve your parents, I do sometimes make comments just to make them incredibly like, because they're awkward about sex, so I'll make comments to make them feel awkward, and then, you know, I just live in that space because it's fun for me. But no, definitely at underage, no way. There's no way I'd want to have that conversation with my parents.
We've already had. Well, I was gonna say something, but it sounds way worse than it is. I was gonna say we already have underage sexual history when it comes to your family, but that just sounds way more ominous than just looking at porn on your family computer. It sounds like they caught us fucking each other in the ass. Or jerking off the family dog or something. I don't know. Jesus Christ. Anyway, do you have anything else?
Oh, I was gonna say there's a story that I actually prepped for this because I mean I'm sure between you and I'm sure we could fill the rest of this episode with stupid shit.
Well, Ty, before you do your next one, Ty, the reason I had to include the dog was because I didn't want it to be left off as being weird talking about just butt fucking each other. So I had to include something else to offset that. And naturally, the next thing to go to was jerking off the family dog.
Shit. Yeah.
So now that we have our logic all lined up in a row, all right, what do you got now, Justin?
Okay, so the story that I actually prepared for the segment was there's this chick I used to work with that we were kind of had a side fling. I guess she was married, but they were, I don't know, in a weird spot / ended up like they were kind of like in an open relationship, but this was definitely like hate fucking other people. This wasn't on the approved list. This is
it only mattered where they were when he wasn't around.
Right. Which I a couple of times left the house as he was pulling in. It was just like, what's up, dude? Because we that was like part of our friend group that we hung out and drank together, smoked together all the time, So it's like I wouldn't consider him a buddy, but it was like, I don't know. Anyway, so she was definitely like making rounds with coworkers, and but she was also like spite dating other people to get back at her husband. They're work things out, and they have a wonderful family, and they're doing well now. At this point in time, they were not. So she, one of the police officers in the area that worked the night shift, had taken her out to this fancy place for dinner or whatever, and dropped her off. And he was like thinking that like this was like a romantic guy. He was thinking he was having a shot with her, and like this was going somewhere, and he was just being a gentleman. And he knew me. He hated me. I delivered pizza at the time. He pulled me over several times. Nothing ever stuck. So he knew my car was the point, and he knew where he lived. She lived like right behind the police station. So we're out in the driveway, bent over the hood of my car, and all of a sudden he decides he's going to do a drive-by to make sure everything's kosher with this chick that he took out. So he drives by and turns the spotlight on his fucking cruiser as we're like ducking down behind the front of my fucking car and like duck fucking waddling from one side to the other as he drives by, and like making sure he's gone, going back at it. And then like 5 minutes later he's like making another fucking round and spotlight my car, and we have to fucking hide behind the car again. We were both drunk as fuck and high as fuck and loud as fuck. I mean, like I could almost spit on the police station from where we were at, and the fact that we never got picked up on any of the cameras outside the police station or caught by the officers, a fucking miracle. But to this day, I can't drive down that alley without going like, just like that. Like, that was a great night.
Talk about fucking risky business right outside the fucking police station.
So that was that's probably the funniest story I have.
Well, I will just kind of combine, I think, the last two places that I can think of. I mean, I've done, I think, also a parking garage, so like nothing super crazy. So one such place we did was a cemetery, and it wasn't for like a lack of like she lived with her parents or we had nowhere else. She literally had her own apartment with her sister who knew we were hooking up. Like no one had any issue with it. It was just we went for a walk for some reason. I think it ended up in the cemetery. I think the reason might have been that I was playing Pokemon Go at the time, and we were just in the cemetery. I don't know what initiated it. It just fucking started, so
I think
it is what it is. Oh, you got one?
Yeah.
It's more so like a place. Like when I was dating this dude, he was younger than me. Unfortunately, I'll never do that again. I had to live with my parents at the time for whatever reason, because I was like early 20s, so like I had just turned 20 or whatever, and we didn't have anywhere to do it. And we would sneak into the shed in my parents' backyard, and they asked me one day, like, why is there blankets in here? I'm like, oh, I put them in there because they were in the car or whatever. But yeah, we just doing it in a random shed in the backyard of my parents' house.
I hope I'm never as dumb as what we thought our parents were when my kids are teenagers, because I tried to explain to my dad that my girlfriend and I needed a blanket in the back of the van as he was driving us home because we were cold in the middle of summer. So...
Talia, your story unlocked a memory of mine that I had completely forgotten about until you told your story. So I got away with murder growing up. Like, my parents, I don't know, they didn't pay a lot. I raised myself. They didn't pay a lot of attention to what I was doing because they were so fixated on what my sister was doing and if my sister was being a good kid. So I can remember having, I don't know what it was. I guess my sister wasn't married yet, so it had to have been like 2009, 2010-ish. We had Easter, and everybody's over for Easter, so that means there's no one's had kids yet or anything. And the stairway up to the bedroom was like right off the living room. And I just remember defiantly looking at my parents, and my grandparents are all sitting there, and then looking over at my girlfriend, and was just like gave my dad this wink and went upstairs and fucked my girlfriend. And she was not quiet by any means. And then just like strolled down the stairs. They're all sitting there having a conversation. And everyone was so awkward, and like they just ignored the fact that like people are sexual beings. That they did want to say anything, but like my dad just had this biggest smile on his face, like, way to go, champ. But like, let's not let your mom know that that's what I think.
Way to go, champ. I think winking at your father probably made it far creepier than it needed to be. Like, yeah, you know what's going on.
That's right.
I just stroked out for a second. I tried to blink with one eye, and then the other eye activated instead. I just went to a mini stroke, and then both eyes started blinking like a lizard. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Well, now that you know some more of our sexual history, should we get out of this hole we've dug?
Yes.
Sure, yeah, let's get out of the hole of other people. Also fucked in a church sanctuary. But yeah, let's move on.
I like you just slide that little information in there.
Ty, it was new life.
Was that the day gold rain? Was that the day gold rained down?
Oh my god.
It was the name of the church and the after effect.
Right. But it wasn't the same day that it rained gold in the sanctuary, was it?
No, it wasn't the gold flakes in the sanctuary. God, we gotta get that podcast going.
We do. So many fun stories for you guys to hear. All right, Anthony, this week you have brought us an unlicensed therapy. Are you ready to take it away?
Yeah, I think so. We have an interesting question submitter who's looking for some love advice. So if you two are ready to get your romantic brain cells rubbing together, well, that doesn't sound like what I intended it to be. This whole episode's gone to shit, honestly. If you guys are ready to figure out how we can help this poor fella out, I'll let you know what the problem is.
Let's do it.
All right.
And when did it all start for you?
Probably when I was a kid. You see, my mother...
Have you tried removing one of your fingers to see if that would relieve the tension?
Remove my Are you even a licensed therapist?
All right, so if the two of you are ready to throw on your white coat and your smartest-looking spectacles, let's see if we can help out. Well, it doesn't provide a name, but I like the name Buford, so let's go with Buford. I have no reason for it. I think I was hungry when I submitted this for the episode. I might have been driving by a Rally's, and I was just like, yeah, Buford, that's the one.
Sounds good.
All right. So Buford's problem that he submitted to Reddit, because where else are you going to find accurate and healthy relationship advice? Said he's a 26 male girlfriend who's a 25-year-old female pooped on me when I was eating her out, and now I don't know what to do. So let's just essentially tell what happened. He says, sorry if this isn't the place for this, and I would argue that Reddit is absolutely the place for this, because this is where it belongs. I literally don't know what to do. Yesterday, my girlfriend was sitting on my face, and I guess she contracted in a weird way as she was finishing, and she full-on pooed on me. I was so grossed out that I freaked out, and she left in a hurry, and I don't know what to do. It was so gross. Nothing like this has ever happened before. Do I talk to her about it? Do I pretend it never happened? So, are there initial thoughts on the matter beforehand? As we were talking about our public sexcapades, is anything like this happened to either of you? Not necessarily, I guess, in Taya's situation. I guess maybe someone could have shat on Taya. I don't want to take that away from you in case it has happened. But has anything like this happened to either of you, or any kind of incidents during sex that were problematic?
No.
No, I can't say. I mean, I've thrown up on somebody.
I assume triggering the gag reflex is what occurred.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, there's not a lot you can do about that. I guess unless you're a real fucking champion and you catch it before it leaves your mouth, and you can just kind of.
Oh no.
oh no! We just slathered that stomach goo all over the phallus.
So gross.
I mean, I guess on the other hand, free lubricant.
Oh no. Not sponsored.
Not. You mean KY didn't encourage the use of throw up to fuck your partner with?
We're gonna lose so many listeners.
We're never gonna find sponsors if we continue this show as it is.
I feel like I would take the shit better than the vomit though.
Not me ever.
I'm a party puker. I'm a party puker. So we would have like another. I guess it depends on which position you're in. But if it was a standing, you would get vomited all over in that situation. Like.
So she was right in his face. So obviously we can figure out how this occurred and where it occurred at. So she was right in his face, and then finished and shit by the sounds of it at the same time. Because I mean, if you didn't finish at the very least, your entire night is a complete waste.
I was gonna say, good boy for finishing the job.
Right? Yeah, a soldier sees the job through. I feel like if you know you have to shit, you don't ride someone's face. That feels like a general rule of thumb.
She might have had tummy troubles.
I get tummy troubles, and I get also pausing when you are aware that tummy troubles are occurring. What the problem is feeling the tummy troubles and going, this should work out fine.
Maybe like she was just like right on the verge of like, yeah, like this could be a problem, but I don't think it will be. And I mean, I'm assuming she's like squat down on his face, and that is the worst position to be in if you got to take a shit in the first place. Is just giving your body the good old heave-o, let's go.
If I feel stomach gurgles in the morning from my morning coffee or my morning Monster, and I bend over to tie my shoe, I know that I can't bend over for the rest of the day until I've gone to the bathroom to clear the channel, as it were. So, but I mean, so this has never occurred to either of you being shit on during
how about you
sexual performance? No, I was just trying to think if I've had any trauma like this, because I've had, obviously, ample amounts of sex all my life because I'm a stud like that. No, I can't think of anything traumatizing like this.
I feel like as gross as it would be, I feel like the type of person I am, probably in the moment, even if I freaked out, would probably be like, okay, like this is all right. Let's just like clean up and like probably try to console the other person. And
Right.
yeah,
you're gonna,
not just like freak out and like get the fuck out. Like, all right, this life, it happens. It's weird, but like, let's move on from this. And then go take a shower.
So it doesn't seem like there's anything calm. She left. I have to assume at this point he no longer has a girlfriend, and therefore there is no reason to further worry about the situation other than in therapy. I'm pretty sure by the time he has made contact with her, she's probably changed her name and moved already.
Yeah.
I think Pooh... See, Pooh's kind of a weird thing. I really don't want to get into a lot of detail with Karen being the editor, but... and it's not even just like a me and Kristen thing. It's just like in general. So I used to be very not super against. I wasn't like super against, like, oh, I won't touch a butthole. Forget that. It was more like along the lines of, I don't see the appeal. Like, I've got a perfectly good hole. Why do I need to intrude on another? And then I dated a girl who was really into anal, and I was like, okay, I kind of see the appeal to it now. I don't know though what I would do if I was ever just fully pooed on. I get kind of weird about the idea of there might be fecal matter on my dick, and I don't look for confirmation. I will not look for it. If I see the oil stick, as it were, coming back with a progression of the level of oil in the well, I think that would probably just ruin everything for a while. I wouldn't want to know. It's the same thing with period sex. I don't want to witness the bloody show. I think like we're gonna pretend it's not happening. We're gonna pretend it's just natural lubricants working their job, and we're gonna go shower immediately without looking at anything below the stomach.
I'll agree with you on the anal. If you're getting fucked in the ass, I'm doing that for you. I'm not doing that for me. Although on the other end, TMI, I have a weird blood fetish, so periods don't bother me at all. It's like, let's go make a mess.
Okay, well, we have that differing opinion. Talia, where do you stand on fucking during your period?
I don't mind it, honestly.
No? I guess it's just a matter of whether or not you get weirded out by the blood. I've been told, though, for women, it's actually relieving of cramps and stuff, too. It has benefits of relieving the pain.
Yeah, it does have those benefits.
Save the show with their medical knowledge.
I like how Ty came on to introduce herself as a new regular co-host, and we're just prying into every orifice and hole she has about her histories. I don't know. I have no resolution for this one. I feel like she left. No one's going to talk about it. I feel like you just have to move on at that point. I don't think there is redeeming this relationship. If I get my face shit on, I don't even talk to anyone ever again.
Yeah, no, I don't even know that you put this out here on Reddit. Like, Reddit is the place for it, but
Reddit's a very dark place. I was trying to find New Year's stories because Russ isn't. I think one of our final episodes was a New Year's story when we came back from break, and I think I just typed in something like New Year's stories, funny New Year's stories on Reddit's search bar, and it just came up a whole bunch of people posting their nudes on Reddit, just like, how would you rate my body for the new year? People commenting like, oh, I'd like to bang you at the ball drop, and it's like, Reddit's such a filthy place.
I think we move on from this.
We have no help for Buford.
No, like
No.
you see, just shove this memory deep into the back of your mind and hope you never, never come across it. This is
It's
one of
supposed
those
to be
cases.
life-changing.
This is one of those cases where you wish Obliviate was an actual thing you could do. And
This is one of the cases you wish Avada Kedavra was a real thing you could do. I don't think you even do it on the girlfriend. You have to do it on yourself because if you kill her, you still have to live with the memory.
I feel like this is the progression mean of Avada Kedavra, where like you just the stick the wand continually gets bigger, and you keep shouting louder.
I think seppuku is the only thing I have to suggest for this fella. I feel like taking your own life is the only way this is going to resolve okay.
So anyway, I think we're done with this. This has been pounded to death, and we are getting out of this dark hole in this dark place, never to return.
You can't keep using the words whole and saying things like pounded to death. It's not. We're running around a theme here, Justin. This is not working out well.
Nothing worked out well for Buford either. So, anyway, so as we said before, Talia is our new co-host, and she has brought to us her very own 2 truths and a lie. Talia, are you ready to get into what you brought for us this week?
I am. Let's go ahead and get started.
All right. All of this is fucking terrible.
Yep.
And you did one of these things?
Yep.
But where's the lie, though?
Okay, so two lies and a truth. Let's see. So I once sucker punched a child in Hot Topic circa late 90s, I would say. Maybe early 2000s. They were trying to get the last studded belt over me, and I wasn't about to let that happen.
So you punch a child in Hot Topic.
Top Topic.
Over getting the last studded belt?
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not a big fashion person. I just kind of wear cargo shorts and a t-shirt. That's really my whole aesthetic. Why would... And of course, you will have to lie to me if this is, in fact, one of the lies. But I have to pick at your story to get answers for my own mental clarity. Why was this belt so important that you would just fucking jack a child straight in the face?
Listen, the 90s are trying to come back, and I'm not about to be caught without one.
Okay. Alright. I don't think I have answers, but alright. What else you got? What else is on the agenda here?
So when I was a kid, I entered a contest for a local store to sing, like actually be the face of their jingle and sing it on the radio. Did the contest and I won it, and it was played for almost a year. But when I found out that I won, I physically vomited on the store floor. I thought I was famous at that time.
And your fame has gone nowhere.
Here I am on overdue for extinction.
But see, it sounds like you won then, honestly.
That's the real lottery in life.
I don't know. Is it a lottery? It feels like if it is a lottery, it's more like the Hunger Games than winning a substantial amount of money.
So,
All right, what do you got
so
for your last one?
I'm distantly related to WWE superstar Triple H. He's a cool dude. He'd be on my dad's side.
Right on. So now I missed. Did you do 2 truths and a lie, or there's 1 truth amongst 2 lies?
There is 1 truth amongst 2 lies, as I was told that's how that works.
Okay.
You are correct. You listened well. Good job.
I think you did. We did it once the other way around. So let's see.
All right. Sucker punching a kid over a belt.
It wasn't more of a sucker punch. I pushed a child. I pushed him onto the floor.
I definitely would punch a kid over a belt from Hot Topic.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I've got 3 children, and I would happily punch any of them for making any amount of noise over the normal or required amount. So,
The question was it the store? Was it the store in the Newtown Mall, or is it
Yes.
the one of it?
Oh.
Okay, because I could believe that because early to mid thousands, the people who worked there, and I know the manager who ran it for a while, Anita, was really fucking awesome, and we used to be able to like have full on mosh pits in her store. So I believe you could get away with punching a child over a belt in that store. That's something that I could find believable. What are you thinking? That's not my answer, but I could find it believable.
so I don't want to step on toes with personal opinions here. I don't like wrestling. I think wrestling is very obviously and clearly faked. And I feel like people that get genuine entertainment from wrestling are kind of trashy. Now, that being said, having a long-standing relationship with Talia and knowing somewhat who her family is, it would not be surprising to me that there is a wrestler within distant relation to her family. Not that you're trashy, Talia. You, of course, are a class act.
Ooh, thanks.
Unless you find wrestling entertaining, then I guess I'm back on calling you trashy again because I just did that. Local grocery store jingles. I don't think it's the sucker punch. I think you might have been a frequent Hot Topic shopper, but I don't see you sucker punching someone, a child nonetheless, over a belt. This is a hard one because for as long as I have known you, I don't think you've told me any one of these stories before, and I feel like any one of them would have been a good one to tell.
You guys ready for it?
I'm gonna go with the first one.
That's what I was going to say. There's also that story in itself contains the most detail.
Like she couldn't come up with a very detailed lie, so she just made the truth the longest one.
Yeah, right. I don't know. You're going with number one. I still, in my hearts of hearts, I want you to have sucker punch some child over a studded leather belt or a studded belt. I want that to be true so bad that I'm going to go with number two. I want to wish it into existence or will it into existence.
Well, yes, it was the number one. I was singing on the local radio station for about a year whenever I was a kid.
What store was that for?
Bueller's.
Oh, Bueller. I should have figured that was what it was.
No.
I hate radio songs with a passion, like the ones that are obviously very temporary like that. There was a song when I want to say I was a very early teenager. I think we lived in South Carolina at the time, and that was when I was 6th, 7th grade. And there was a song around Christmas time that I think the radio station must have made up, because it doesn't exist. I've looked for it. And it was a parody of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, but it was Britney Spears Got Dumped by the New Guy. And we loved that song with a passion when it played. I've only ever heard it the one time. I can't find record of its existence anywhere. And I forever hate the radio because of that, probably. So, little radio jingles are absolutely the worst because fuck that shit.
Absolutely. Although when I think of radio jingles, I think of like Uncle Jesse and Joey writing radio jingles in the basement of Danny Tanner's apartment.
I'm so glad you brought up that show. What is Marshall Mathers? Let me find out real quick. 'Cause I have this song in my like music. I know who Eminem is. Okay, Rucka Rucka Ali, someone that you probably both know. Yeah.
No?
No. he does parody music. He does a parody of Eminem's Marshall Mathers song called the Danny Tanner Rap, and it's about how he had a wife and kids and life was great, and then all of a sudden everybody started moving into his house and bumming off of him, and he's paying for everyone's expenses, and the neighbors keep coming over. It's a good song. Yeah, I recommend listening to that one. And I suspect no one ever will, because no one takes music references seriously. So.
I actually have Rucka Rucka Ali pulled up on my Spotify right now, so...
Oh, well, I'll go fuck myself then, Justin.
You should.
All right, well, I will happily take the win on that. It will make something in my week worth not committing seppuku, so...
I believe that it was number one, but I wanted number two to be... true so bad in the worst way.
Is that what you think of Talia, that she just goes around punching children? Because she does, but it's with her tongue instead of her... Oh, that sounds like pedophilia.
Nope.
I meant blowjobs.
Anyway.
Karen, stick that out.
She just goes around licking children like a fucking hag, going around to collect.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Talia, for bringing us the two truths and a lie.
Unfortunately, since punching the child was not the truth, you should probably go make it so for Justin's case.
No, now I will have to go find a child to punch in Hot Topic. It's a different place. I'm an elder emo now, so I don't even.
Now it just becomes abuse when you do it at this age.
I still shop at Hot Topic.
They've changed so much. They really have. I've gotten too fat for Hot Topic. I don't think they carry any of my sizes. Plus, all the girls always got all the good shirts. Always, 100% of the time. Always made me jealous. You guys got the best of the best in there. Anyway, now that we know that about all of us, all that horrible information that we've covered.
The stuff that nobody asked for, but they got anyway.
Absolutely. We're gonna round it out with another worst of humanity. What did Kristen or you bring us this week?
Oh my god, who thinks of this shit? Hey, quick, come here, take a look at this.
Why would you show me that?
I don't want to suffer alone.
This is the worst of humanity.
All right, so this week's Urban Dictionary Worst of Humanity word is shrimp pibbly. Is this a word that either of you are familiar with?
No.
Okay, good. So we're off to a good start then. So when you think about a shrimp pibbly, I don't think any of them are ever going to be as good as what was the one that we did? The one where you have to shoot cum over the freezer door and let it dribble into the ice tray and then insert it into your neighbor's asshole so they get pregnant with African children.
I forgot about that. I don't know how.
Nothing will be as good as that one. So I have no high hopes for Shrimp Pibbly taking the crown. That one's going to be forever my favorite one because there were so many things that there were no answers for. So what do you guys think a pibbly is? Because obviously shrimp, I mean, if we're going to take it as literal, shrimp is shrimp. What's pibbly?
My virgin brain, my angel brain is telling me it's a food, like a shrimp skewer.
Pibbly is a cooking method, then, you think?
Yeah, you do a little shrimp on the pibbly. It's the space where you cook the shrimp. It's like not shrimp on the barbie, but we're gonna have a little shrimp on the pibbly tonight.
So could this be like another marinating situation?
Maybe.
You're familiar with marinating, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we talking about like Amish soaking? Or is it
Sure.
Mennonites that soak?
It's Mennonite, not Mennonites. It's
Mormons.
Mormons.
Yeah,
Mormons, yes.
marinating, soaking, same thing. Yeah.
It's the marineras.
The mariners. Sounds delicious.
They all tuck their shirts into their jeans, and it's weird.
You think this is a marinating situation, Justin?
I don't. Well, if we're going like shrimp on the Barbie, and like if we're doing like skewer, obviously like shrimp skewer would be the dick, and if the vaginas or any orifice of your choice is the Barbie, then yeah, that could be soaking. But that's just based on that type of idea. No fucking clue. These last few words that we've done have been so obscure.
Or it's a small dick thing.
It could be a small dick thing.
Is that something I don't, in my average day-to-day life, don't talk about small penises. I assume it's probably more of a conversation between women. Do women refer to small dicks as shrimp?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope no one in my history has ever used that term. Jesus Christ. It's not about the size of the boat, but the bush of the ocean, right, ladies? So I'm going in the opposite direction. Are you okay, Justin?
I think it's a micropene.
A micropene?
No, the whole delivery of that line just got about me.
I'm not thinking it's food related. I think it's entirely elsewise. I'm going to go back to the fish taco secret menu item. I don't know why Pibbly is the word that I'm caught up on. So shrimp, I'm going to say, is a code word for a clitoris, and the Pibbly. God damn it! I really hate that this is going to be the thing that I end up clipping for TikTok if it doesn't get fucking banned after I post the clip. Pibbly, I don't know, for whatever reason, Pibbly is not a real word. For whatever reason, when I think of Pibbly in the terms of shrimp being a clitoris, I think of you going like this with your finger up to the clitoris and go bloop, 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 bloop. That sounds like a Pibbly to me. I don't know. It's like when babies start cooing after they don't make noises except for crying, and you start pibbling their lip to make them go blah 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 blah. That's what I think you do to a clitoris. That's what a shrimp Pibbly is.
God, I'm ready for this episode to be over.
No one's more ready than Karen is.
Like, I thought it was like a fun like, here's your information about us you didn't want to know. Start, and then it just went downhill. Like, we opened, like, somewhere in the beginning, we definitely finished the portal to hell circle, and we all just jumped in. And can we just go straight to Urban Dictionary and figure out what the fuck this is?
If you guys are ready, we can find out what we're looking at here. Unfortunately, Talia was spot on. It is a very small penis.
Oh,
shit. The definition. I like the sentence. The second one. I can't ride that. It's a shrimp Pibbly, or Donald Trump as a shrimp Pibbly. I mean, his fingers are small. His hands are small in general. So why not everything else?
That's it.
God.
There's only two. Both definitions given are just a very small penis. So
I feel like we're cock shaming now, and I don't appreciate it. I mean, no one's thrown my name into the definition, but I feel like I don't like this one.
All right. Well, if there's any light at the end of this tunnel, it's the fact that this episode is over.
There's a light at the end of this tunnel. It's the hope that it's a fucking train coming to take us out, so we don't have to do this anymore.
And that was the day they lost all of their listeners.
God damn it. Finish. I was going to tell you to finish us off, but fucking back at it again. Finish the episode so anybody is going to be willing to fucking sponsor us other than old gum job Becky.
Christ. Well, thank you for once again for joining us this week for another episode of What the Fuck Did They Just Say? I mean, overdue for extinction. We have clearly displayed as to why we should have died out long ago. I don't know about you, Taya. You were kind of quiet, which I think helped you out this episode, but Anthony and I are going to finish roasting in the pits of hell as we pay for our sins. Anyway, where can they find you guys on social media?
Ty, do you want to share with the people where they can stalk you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I don't have many, but you can find me on TikTok at SassXPancakes. On there, I'll probably start posting on there a little more, and always Facebook. I'm always hanging out in the Overdue for Extinction Discord as well.
Anthony, where can we find you?
So I have I keep suggesting my Twitter, but I honestly, every time I post like an actual status on Facebook, I never think to go to Twitter because Twitter's dead. But eventually I may use it, ? I don't know. You can follow me at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Unfeeling Dragon. It's all one word, exactly as it sounds, it is spelled. I actually started posting content, starting with things that I did on vacation. Recently, I was trying to get my 1-year-old to chase seagulls because I thought it would make for a funny video, but unfortunately he didn't get anywhere with them. And I did post that if seagulls did attack, I was going to be faced with a tough choice between saving his life or keep a good video going, and I didn't think that I was going to win Father of the Year when it came down to making a choice.
Always get that content.
Right, exactly. Gotta get the likes. Scars will heal when they're that young still, so. And then I posted my my treasure from the Crayola experience, in which we got to make our own crayons and name them. So I made a blue crayon called Blue Waffle and a yellow crayon called Yeast Infection. And I don't know if there are divorce papers waiting for me yet or not. But yeah, so I'm starting to make content, so you can follow me at those places. Instagram probably has the most, because whenever I post to Facebook, I also tend to post to Instagram simultaneously. So follow me for the dank memes there.
And you can find me on Instagram at the Spectral Vagabond. That's the _spectral_vagabond. Mostly life updates, pictures there. You can find me on Facebook, where I blast my page with memes, or in the Discord chat, which you can find you can get off us on our Facebook page, Overdue for Extinction. We can invite you into our Discord, where I drop only the dankest of memes that would get me banned everywhere else. And that is where you tend to find all the saucy stuff that no one talks about the episode. We just drop memes and have fun. As far as the podcast goes,
I'm not even sure that all the people in our Discord actually listen.
Yeah, I think most of our Discord is just meme sharing and being rowdy, which is all right. I enjoy it. That's what I'm here for. It gives me puts a smile on my face, and that's what we aim for. But you can find us the podcast on Facebook and Instagram at Overdue for Extinction, where we mostly have episode updates, pictures, links, and videos and the like. Twitter, you can find us at O4EPod. That's from the letter O, the number 4, letter E, pod. And I don't know, I think our Twitter probably gets updated as much as Anthony updates his. TikTok, you can find us at Overdue for Extinction for bonus videos and clips. And we also share those to Instagram and Facebook. And we have a Patreon, Overdue for Extinction. You can find the old episodes of the podcast there for free, if with Russ and Anthony, if you're interested in finding and re-listening to those. And you can become a Patreon member for bonus content, shout-outs, video message, merch, and more, all of which will go back into the production of Overdue for Extinction. And we thank all of your support, whether it be monetary, listening to our episodes, giving us those likes and reviews. All of it, we appreciate it. And if you want to submit a story for Drunken Lullabies or Unlicensed Therapy, you can message us. You can message any one of us on our personal socials, or you can email us at the podcast at overdueforextinction@gmail.com, and we'll get in touch with you and let you know when your personal story is airing, so you can hear your name over the airwaves. once again, just thank you for joining us this week on Overdue for Extinction, and we'll see you here next week.
Enjoy pibbling each other's shrimps.
Thanks, guys. Have a
Bye,
good
y'all.
night.
Bye.
Overdue for extinction.